Hey everyone, and welcome to an awesome game between myself as Slaanesh going up against the Ogre Kingdoms and Mukluk. Now something really cool we've been doing every single evening, Mukluk and I have been going against each other, working on matchups. So he's really wanted to be using the Ogre Kingdoms going up against Slaanesh. He wanted to find a convincing way that he can beat back the big seducers of chaos. Now for his build, he's going to have 4 units of the Noblars, backed up by Ogre Ball, dual weapons, and Ogre Balls. You can see this nice little pocket here, and the big boys are going to be the man-eater great weapons. These are very good up against Tzeentch, but I wondered if they're going to be very good here up against Slaanesh. They're good anti-large, some armor piercing, which can be useful here and there, and then we are going to have the double hunter Stonehorn in the middle, and of course the Lord Choice. Now this is going to be the Slaughtermaster of Beasts. So rather cheap here, we are going to have the Blood Cleaver, the Belly Slapper with Wild Heart, and then the only spell of the Flock of Doom. Rather powerful, at least more so here than in Warhammer 2, and then we're also going to have the extra ingredients. So a nice little build here coming from Mukluk. From myself, we are going to be having the Hellstriders, 2 on the left with the double Furies, and then we are going to have the same over here on the right. For the main battle line, 5 units here of the anti-large and Marauder Spears, and you're going to have some with the triple bronze chevron and then some with the double. For the Lord Choice, we are going to have the Herald of Slaanesh here with the Slaanesh Magic, with the Blissful Rapture, as well here as the Soul Siphon, the Arcane Conduit, and then the spells of the Slicing Shards and Acquiescence. The abilities are going to be the Portal Glyph and then the Locus of Grace. In the backside, 3 units of the Spawn of Slaanesh, and these bad boys have been nicely upgraded to give the Spophoric Musk, giving those really nice debuffs alongside here the Unbreakable status and then really good weapon strength. Now of course not much of it is armor piercing, but they do really well here up against the Ogres as they just don't have much armor. So debuffs, mass weapon strength, anti-large here from the cheap Marauder Spearmen that also very powerfully have immune to psychology. So that terror here coming from the Hunters really not going to pay dividends. The same over here on the right hand side, the Cavalry also having immune to psychology, the Soul Hunters as well, which means that we can wrap up a lot of kills here up against the Noblars. We can get some really nice bonuses, including damage resistance, leadership buffs. It really does go quite a long way. The AP here from the Furies can also do quite nice work up against the Hunters, but I really need to deal damage up against these man-eater great weapons. So we can see the force is coming forward. In the backside, the Furies are going to be lining up. We have the Cavalry ready to go here, nice and circle of the faction of the Ogre Kingdoms. Mukluk is going to rotate. I think the Hunter maybe wants to shoot down a couple of the Slaanesh Furies, but we're now going to be diving down into the middle. I'm going to get a rear charge here onto the man-eater great weapons, or maybe, yes, we are actually going to get on these ones here. So I summon one unit, I get the rear charge, bit of a hammer and anvil tactic. Good damage there coming from the Hunter. We dive down and we're trying to do as much damage with Acquiescence on the man-eater great weapons as I possibly can. But look! The Furies died so goddamn quickly. I engage with the front line here. We have the Spawn backed up by these spears here. They can do some devastating damage as they get through here. We are going to see the Flock of Doom overcast. That's going to give extra range and extra damage here in a 35-meter radius. Now, we're not going to quite catch the Hellstriders there in the backside, but the Cavalry is going to be waiting as we get around the corners here with the Spawn. Furies are going to be in the middle. A little bit of damage up against the man-eater great weapons. Not too much to write home about. You can see they are diving across to fight here up against the Spawn. Slicing Shards in the pocket, trying to do as much damage here up against the monstrous infantry as possible. More spears are going to be diving in. Those spears are going to be the best here up against the man-eater great weapons. Fury's going to be diving across the map. We have more here fighting up against the man-eater great weapons. Just need to keep them busy as possible. And we do see here Marauder Spears charging forward, rampaging here with the man-eaters thanks to Fascination. Really good using that ability as much as possible here to take down that very expensive monstrous infantry. Hellstriders charging up against the Ogre Balls in the backside. Of course, they do have that bonus for large. They can do some lovely damage indeed. And the Hellstrider is going to be diving back and forward here. He's going to be charging with really good AP here for the weapon strength. And we are going to be giving the Locus of Grace. Melee defense as well as that physical resistance is going to be really happy up against the Ogre Kingdoms that really do not have much magic potential. And we do see in the middle here the Slaughtermaster of Beasts going to be hanging around. He does have a Blood Cleaver. Wouldn't mind seeing him get his hands dirty here a little bit going up against the Spawn of Slaanesh. He has rather good melee defense there at 48 and pretty good armor piercing, so I believe. Now we are going to be having the Hunter fighting here, but we can see the man-eater's narcissism has been activated to pin them in place as we have a Slicing Shards coming down, devastating this build. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units breaking in that small pocket. And we can see the mass ruck here coming from the Ogre Kingdoms. 3 minutes into the game so far, and the pocket has been broken, but it's not over yet. These Stonehorns are incredibly powerful. So we're going to dive forward here with the spawn of Slaanesh as they fight up against the Hunter. But yet again, another of the overcast Flock of Doom doing some really lovely damage in the middle. The second and final Chaos Fury summon is going to come into fruition. These ones don't have AP, but they can be really good at chasing off some of this infantry. So they're going to dive in, they're going to try and compromise some of these Ogre Balls, and in the backside here, I do have the mobility advantage. We have Hellstriders clearing up the Ogre Ball dual weapons, Noblars as well, just causing all that devastation and carnage here in the backside. Spears are going to be breaking here from me, dual weapons as well on the periphery, and we have lots of Furies here with the Sweet Sorrow getting activated, so that plus 25% speed and that reduction in vigor is really handy here faction-wide. Now we do see the Lord Choice going to be diving into the backside, just clearing out all this broken infantry, trying to shatter as much as I possibly can. We need to get the Lord Choice back in using as many acquiescences as possible. Speforic Musk in the middle here, up against the Slaughtermaster of Beasts. Going to be doing some good debuffs there, bringing them down to 43 melee defense. The Spears will do some lovely work indeed, but that Flock of Doom is very, very powerful. It's going to be doing quite a bit of damage up against so many units of mine here in the pocket, and they really don't have any spell resistance. But Speforic Musk is going to be a big must here, debuffing these Hunters with so much armor. Need to really take down that melee attack and melee defense, so they can't do as much damage as they normally would. But the Lord Choice is going to be breaking here in the middle, and we do have the Hellstriders nice and close by. You can see they're going to be fighting up against the Ogre Balls and the Noblars. We actually have the spawn in the backside with the Locust of Grace, thanks to the Lord Choice just diving in here on her Strider as she fights into the backside up against the Hunter. But lots of armor piercing here from the Lord Choice, really can do some good damage up against the Hunter. So a bit more of a wide effect here. We do see Marauder Spears fighting up against the Man-Eater Great Weapons, really dull with these bad boys coming back. And as we can see, we do actually have Acquiescence, which is going to be slowing down the Slaughtermaster as I charge with my Lord Choice, trying to make sure that I do take down this Lord Choice. I really don't want any more Flock of Dooms coming down on my force, doing some brilliant damage. We do see here that we have the Hunters chasing in pursuit, trying to see if they can protect their Lord Choice. Lots of damage here coming from the Herald, as she's going to be getting constant charges into the rear side of the Slaughtermaster. Now I do turn and burn, I do try and get away here with the Herald, but you can see that charge bonus for the Hunters is just ridiculous. They're going to be getting into the backside and doing some lovely damage here with Dismember, really slowing down my Lord, but we do have the Spawn as well as the Spears coming into the backside. So the Lord Choice here is going to be at 1100 HP. He's still going to be broken, 7 leadership, so he could possibly return. It is going to be a bit of a dice roll, but I do dive down here with the Hellstriders. The cavalry are going to catch him, just having a cheeky break here in the backside, and there's no break on my clock. He's now going to be fighting in melee combat up against the anti-large spears that do get the charge here. He's going to be breaking for the second time. Balance of power now for the first time, pushing into my favour. We do actually have the spears fighting up against the Man-Eater Great Weapons in the backside, and we actually have some of the cavalry that was clearing out some of the Ogre Balls. More cavalry in the backside, just chasing off all these broken entities. The Lord Choice is broken yet not shattered, but he is down to 170 HP. Now, something that's really, really annoying here that me and Mutlak had a fantastic giggle about was the fact that the Herald could not break away here from the Hunter. I do actually use the Locust of Grace to try and protect myself as much as possible, but that charge bonus, which is just constant as I'm running away, the Herald just couldn't get out of the grasp here of the Hunter. That constant charge bonus just really kept her under grip. So she has 100 speed going up against 66, but these Hunters were a ginormous pain in my backside, so I just had to pull through my own infantry. It's one of the broken things here with multiplayer. The Hunters are just so goddamn oppressive, so we had to use the spawn just to pin them in place, and now we can fight up against the Hunters. Now we have broken and killed the Lord here, so it's going to be negative 16 leadership here for the Hunters. They don't have great leadership overall. The Hunters really do help with that bonus here for the Stonehorns, but they will be going down rather quickly. The Hunter shatters. We're going to be wavering. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here to my opponent, Mutlak. A fantastic guy indeed, and we had some great battles. We really did think that Slaanesh is one of the hardest matchups here for the Ogre Kingdoms. He actually found a really, really good way for the Ogre Kingdoms. You can either kite, or there's a really nice build here up against Tzeentch that really favours Ogre Kingdoms. But in this matchup, we found it rather tough indeed. We did try the Slaughtermaster. We tried all sorts of lords here to really try and see if we can make it work, but this seemed to be one of the best builds we could come up with. I'm sure there's some others out there as well. So 1,900 for the Slaughtermaster of the Beast Magic, 1,800, 1,700 there for the Hunter, 850 and 900 for the Man-Eater Great Weapons, with the dual weapons coming in at 330, 270 and 270, 290 and 150 for the regular Ogre Bulls. 96, 117, 66 and 92 there for the Noblars. So for me, 1,500 for the Herald of Slaanesh, 977, 885 and 850 there for the Spawn of Slaanesh. 690, 380, 380 and 900 here for the Hell Striders, with 230, 230, 170 and 100 here for the Furies. 1,000 here for the Marauders, with 740, 750, 588 and 416. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below as well with all your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the growth here of the channel. So other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very soon.